It is within or behind everything we do. Buildings, cities, everyday objects. They are all its constructions. They are its forms. We don't see it. We don't even know that we ignore it. The planet we live on is an immense open-air unconscious. It is everywhere. It is the flesh and life of everything, hidden each time behind a different face. It is the one great creator of everything we see, the one and only true designer, the one and only true interior decorator. It is because of it that everything can stand beside everything in our experience. The galaxies and the brain, the clouds and the living. It is the planet and its force of gravity that designs all that we are and all that we see. Black holes and armchairs, roads and celestial observatories. It is not something unknowable, and it is not simply a mystery. It is an ignorance that lies within all forms of knowledge, like an immense desire that we can see only after it is extinguished. Needless to give it a name. Earth, Gaia, globe, planet. It has the names of all the things to which it gives form and matter. It has the face of all the things it creates and in which it invents a new way of existence. This stranger who inhabits and embodied us is indifferent to the position between heaven and earth, as well as to that between the human and the non-human. It is alive in the past as well as in the present. We ignore it and ignore to ignore it, but we do not stop using its strengths. Every time we design, every time we build something, we only prolong its life. Architecture, design, the arts should start from here. Everything they do is but the life of this mystery that we cannot know except by transforming it. All they do is make our planet even more unknown and mysterious.
Good morning and welcome to the opening of the 23rd International Exhibition of the Milan Triennale. On stage with me, we have General Manager Carla Mongallo, General Secretary of the Bureau International d'Exposition, Dimitri Kerkensis, and the two main curators of the exhibition. Some of you have already had the opportunity to meet during this very short visit, Ersilia Vaudo Scarpetta and Francis Queré. We are happy to be here to open this 23rd exhibition, international exhibition, with in the presence of the ministers representing the countries that are part of the exhibition, the consuls and the Italian and foreign institutions representatives who are here with us today. And I would like to start by reading the message sent by the Italian Ministry on Culture, Mr. Franceschini. President Boeri, because of previous engagement, I'm not able to attend the opening of the 23rd International Exhibition of the Milano Triennale, but I'm happy to give my contribution to one of the most important events devoted to culture. Triennale has always been a forum of dialogue and discussion. The quality of the unknowns introduction to mysteries exhibition confirms this. The artists involved deal with complex topics like genetics, astrophysics, and testify that culture is essential to achieve unprecedented viewpoints. And I wish you a fruitful day and all the best for the exhibition. And I'm also happy to be able to invite on stage Minister Elena Bonetti, Minister on Equal Opportunities and Families, and she will be conveying her greetings. Thank you very much, Minister. Thank you very much. I would like to thank President Boeri for his introduction. I'm still thrilled after this unfortunately short visit, which, however, has certainly provided us with a nice picture of this exhibition. I would like to welcome all the representatives of the local government, Mr. Sacchi, Mr. Cappello. I would like to welcome the ministers, the ambassadors, and the representatives of all the countries that participate in this exhibition. And I would like particularly to thank the general manager and the vice president, the curator, Ersilia Vaudo, for this very innovative exhibition. And I also would like to make an initial remark in my capacity as a Minister on Equal Opportunities of the Italian government. This exhibition provides an in-depth gaze on the human being and on women in particular. I believe that this is something very important. Opening this 23rd International Exhibition is an important event for the whole community and for the city of Milan in particular. Such an exhibition takes place at times that are definitely difficult times, and the world of culture, of design, of architecture, and of art are starting reinterpreting this new reality. We cannot deny this. The years that we have lived through have profoundly questioned our social and economic systems and our experience as human beings. They have changed completely our lives. And it's not accidental that the world of culture, of art, of architecture have been among those that have been able to grasp these changes that have been taking place, and that today account for a new journey towards what is going to happen afterwards, has always been the case in the history of mankind. I believe it's a matter of reconstructing our consciousness and our future perspective, and the world of art and design and architecture can definitely give a valuable contribution. Considering the international framework where this exhibition is taking place, testifies that these various communities are sharing all these views. In the African Pavilion, I've seen the room devoted to diversity. And I believe this is exactly what we are experiencing. That mankind has been plagued by a number of crises, and we are now trying and healing our wounds despite what is happening. So, faced with this apparent collapse of meaning and sense, being able to interpret the mystery of things is something extraordinary that is exactly what this exhibition is doing. And I would like to conclude by making reference to the following, and I don't know whether this was made on purpose, but the fact that in these hours we managed to see the incredible pictures by the telescope that have shown us a completely different universe, something that we were not familiar with. Well, this is, I believe, something that again characterizes this opening. This exhibition combines the world of art in general and the world of science in general. I'm a mathematician and I'm particularly familiar with these dynamics. And I believe this is the real beginning of a new discipline of human science, namely exploring a mystery that we want to decode and understand better. There is a nice statement by an Italian mathematician, Ennio De Giorgi, who, talking about mathematics, used to say mathematics is one of the most meaningful sign of love for knowledge, because it combines intuition and knowledge. And it starts from the idea that the world is made of visible and invisible things, and mathematics has a unique ability, namely that of shifting from observing visible things to the imagination of invisible things. And what is happening in this exhibition is exactly that this intuition links the unknown and the known dimension and reconstruct it in our experience as human beings. And I believe this is the best way to give back meaning and opportunities to men, women, and children who will be visiting this exhibition, and above all, who are invited to understand the mystery of the future and become the main players of this future.
Thank you, dear Minister, for your very precise presentation. Unfortunately, Governor Attilio Fontana and the Mayor of Milan, Giuseppe Sala, are not here with us. They are sending a video message and representing these local bodies. There are some representatives. Now, Attilio Fontana. Good morning to you all. I'd like to thank President Stefano Boeri for his invitation to inaugurate the 23rd Triennale International Exhibition. My welcome to our region is extended to Mr. Kekens, Secretary General BII, and all the ministers. And also allow me to extend my greetings to Elena Bonetti, Dario Franceschini and Luigi Di Maio, and the mayor of Milan, Giuseppe Sala, and all other distinguished guests. I'm very sorry for not being there, and through this message, hopefully I can convey my esteem for this inauguration of a Triennale exhibition, a Triennale which is a reference point for our territory and also a great international institution. Again, I'd like to extend my gratitude to Ercilia Vaudo and Francis Quere, who are the main curators for this journey, which is a unique opportunity of dialogue and exchange. Triennale is the privileged venue for the expression of the arts, main tenet of our democratic life. Starting from today, we're all given the opportunity to confront ourselves with a broader vision of reality for an intimate reflection, a collective reflection on the themes that are very topical as the one of the exhibition. Thanks to the arts, critical thinking is amplified, and this is the most important contribution of this event, the development of our communities in one of the most important international events dedicated to design and architecture. Let's look at the unknown, being aware that we do not know plenty of things. We must be open to the challenges of scientific progresses thanks to this multi-sensorial journey. And also I'd like to appreciate the work you did to promote the Ukrainian pavilion, starting from the perspective of international scientists and artists. I believe that to defend the culture of peace is a collective global responsibility, engaging every single sector, those mainly who represent the freedom of speech and thought. Once again, thank you very much, and long life to the 23rd International Exhibition of Triennale Milano. Thank you. Dear friends, I'm very happy and proud as a Milanese and a mayor of Milan that today we are inaugurating the 23rd Triennale International Exhibition. Indeed, a great event is starting today. Next year we'll be celebrating the 100th anniversary of Triennale, and it is instrument whereby Milan becomes the center of international artistic life. During its long history, Triennale undoubtedly could interpret social, cultural changes and bring innovation, anticipating trends. And this year, too, the exhibition is providing us with a multidisciplinary perspective, challenging view of the world, and you are all invited to explore this exhibition because this is an exhibition which is objectively very challenging and stimulating. We are living an historical period which is featured by uncertainties, the epidemic, the war, the global crisis, and the crisis of the globalized world questions some our certainties. We had rested on our laurels, and this is forcing us to look at the world in a different manner, to look at the epoch-making challenges in an open-minded perspective. Hence, we are invited by the international exhibition to look for new answers, to find new solutions in science, in the arts, in the knowledge of nature with its laws and mysteries. It's up to us to seize the opportunities embraced by these challenges, starting with the environmental transition, which is the focus of this edition of the International Exhibition of Triennale. The delicate and sensitive relationship between man and nature was also the focus of the latest exhibition. This is a challenge that we're all called to meet from a scientific, cultural, economic sectors. And this is a challenge that Milan decided to meet in a very innovative manner. Suffice to think of our reforestation project, our urban regeneration projects, smart mobility, the implementation of the 15-minute city, the daily commitment for a city where environmental sustainability, fight against inequalities and inclusivity are moving hands in hands. And arts and cultures are not alien to this commitment. They account for a key ingredient and an indispensable value added. Suffice to think of the value, the meaning that design has and will keep having in identifying Milan identity. Triennale represents all this at the highest level possible. It is a great event of culture, of art, and of sharing, confirming once again the role of Milan as the cultural capital city of Italy, also reaffirming its international vocation to become an regional center for development and for cultural and civil growth. And this is true for the rest of Italy and for the world at large. Thank you very much. The international exhibition within the framework is unique as recognized by BIE, and the heart of these exhibitions is the international participation communicated in a very careful manner by the BIE and the Ministry for Foreign Affairs. I'm being told that our Minister Luigi Di Maio is already ready. Yes, here I am. Good morning. Good morning and welcome. Thank you. Thank you to you all. It is a great pleasure for me to connect to your room, unfortunately virtually. And I'm very happy to meet you after a few weeks since when we launched the 23rd Triennale International Exhibition, which took place here on May 30th. Together with the Triennale Foundation and the President Stefano Boeri, we have come to the inauguration of this Italian showcase of design. I would like to welcome all participants, both for those who are online and those in person, Mrs. Bonetti, Minister Dario Franceschini, the Governor Fontana, and the Mayor of Milan, Sala. And this opportunity is even more meaningful in the light of the changes that marked the past 3 years since the edition of 2019, from the pandemic emergency, now the conflict in Ukraine because of the unlawful aggression by Russia, and the return of war on European territory, which was unthinkable up to some years, and its geopolitical and economic and social repercussions are being felt by the international community at large and will project themselves also in the long term. And within such a framework, one of the pivot of our way to relate with the rest of the world is questioned. And the answer, the response to these uncertainties are our values, our ability to design innovative solutions. The 23rd Triennale International Exhibition becomes an interpreter of this current need, choosing a very original title, Unknown Unknowns, Introduction to Mysteries, aimed at stimulating the curiosity and creativity of visitors. And by this edition, we also confirm the international vocation of Triennale. This is a significant partner for La Farnesina, Ministry for Foreign Affairs, and BIE. And indeed, this is one of the few exhibitions which is recognized by BIE. This year it is facing the challenges of ecological transition, green finance, inclusion of women and men in sustainable development, climate change. In October 21, we dedicated a conference aiming at establishing a partnership with all African partners, and the strengthening of the relationship with the African countries is also part of the campaign for greater sustainability, starting with the Ukrainian crisis and as an answer to the food emergency that is striking some African countries and the Mediterranean basin. And to bear witness to this commitment towards Africa, I'd like to remind you of the visit that our president made some weeks ago to some countries such as Mozambique. And with this, we also have a project whereby the Universal Expo in 2030 will be hosted in Rome. And this expo will be a collection of projects, and all members of the international community are called upon participating. We want to promote collaboration amongst different worlds that can find shared solutions, innovative solutions, featured by great open-mindedness, which has always been a unique feature of Triennale. With Expo 2030, which will be held in Rome, aims at enhancing the value of some cultural aspects. Our aim is to focus on innovation, applied research, advanced technology, aiming at building a future which is for man and the planet. Rome, with the International Space Hub and with its small and medium-sized companies in the field of space, is in the forefront in the field of research, posing itself as an international innovation model. On the one side, the promotion of a vibrant image of Italy is the focus and pivot of the integrated promotion strategy of our Ministry for Foreign Affairs to support internationalization and export of Italian companies. It is within such a framework that, together with ICE, last November, we launched the national branding campaign, Be It, covering the uniqueness of the Made in Italy products, promoting the excellence of our products. And design plays a key role in this because it is one of the most vibrant sector identified as a Made in Italy sector. More than 30,000 companies, 61,000 employees, significantly contributing to the development and internationalization of our territory. Triennale offers an exceptional venue to illustrate the development of the various applications of design in fashion, in furniture, disseminating the knowledge of artisanal knowledge, looking at sustainability always. And the Ministry for Foreign Affairs, besides collaborating with Le Triennale, is supporting this industry by means of various initiatives, such as the Day of Italian Design in the World that we have been organizing since 2017, thanks to the contribution of our foreign network. This event allows us to promote events such as Il Salone del Mobile in Milan, a jewel in the crown of Italian design, to favor exports, tourism, and disseminate the thought of Italian design across the world. We promote Italy culturally and economically, and this together with the public and private players. And Triennale is a main partner in this endeavor. The hope is to keep working for Italian success across the world, and I wish you all the best for the 23rd International Exhibition of La Triennale. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister. And now it's a pleasure for me to hand you over to the General Secretary of the Bureau International des Expositions, Dimitri Kirkensis.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to be here today for the inauguration of this 23rd edition of the International Exhibition of Triennale Milano. This special gathering of artists, ideas, and nations is the continuation of a long history tying the Bureau International des Expositions and the Triennale Milano. It is a history that goes back nearly 90 years, to 1933, when the International Exhibition took place for the very first time in Milan under the auspices of the BIE, with 11 countries gathered here in the Palazzo dell'Arte. Ever since, this unique international exhibition has served as a forward-looking platform to better understand and better shape the world we inhabit and the world that future generations will inherit. With each Triennale, the boundaries of the imagination are pushed as new approaches, new angles, and new applications of design, art, and architecture are revealed. This year, in its 23rd edition, the Triennale continues this tradition, albeit in a very particular context, in a world shaken by a 2-year pandemic, as well as the economic and political disruptions that we are living through today. These transformations have forced us to alter our perspective and to reshape our imagination of our own role in the world and in the universe. This is why today, the International Exhibition brings us all on a journey of self-reflection, on why and how we can improve ourselves by being able to rethink what we know. Its theme, Unknown Unknowns, an Introduction to Mysteries, is a call to question our assumptions, to embrace the vastness and the uncertainty of the unknown, and to set a new direction for humankind. For this, it is essential to look and to make connections beyond borders. While serving to structure the world and our understanding of it, borders, whether national, international, or local, whether based on gender, race, class, sexuality, or any other differences, must not hinder our knowledge or our subjectivity. For the International Exhibition of Triennale Milano, the role of the BIE is to work in close cooperation with the government of Italy and with the Triennale Milano Foundation to foster and support international participation. This is not just one aspect of the overall exhibition. It is the heart and the very essence of each Triennale. By convening countries from around the world, the International Exhibition of Triennale Milano is an open platform for exploration, for exchange, and for dialogue. With curated and commissioned exhibits, the International Exhibition also encourages interactions that are unscripted, giving rise to new encounters, surprising discoveries, and thought-provoking exchanges. Today, this edition conveys a remarkable diversity and wealth of ideas, with fascinating contributions from near and far, from Croatia to China and from Lesotho to Mexico. A total of 23 international participants are taking part in this 23rd Triennale, each one offering its own perspective on unknown unknowns, an introduction to mysteries. While Kenya's participation warns us about water pollution, Cyprus shares the mysteries of Nicosia's gardens, and Austria explores what the microbial paradigm shift may mean for cross-being boundaries. Together, these ideas set the scene for the important conversations to be had about how we can design a better future. Over the course of the next 5 months, we will see just how these various interpretations interact with each other and complement each other. For all the participants as well as the visitors, this will be an opportunity to learn, to deepen one's understanding, and to recognize the limits of one's knowledge. As the 23rd Triennale opens to the world, I would like to applaud the Triennale Milano and its institutional partners for their tireless efforts to bring this fascinating subject to life. I would also like to thank the government of Italy and all the curators for hosting this international exhibition and for inviting countries to participate, making it a moment of truly universal exchange. I have no doubt that this Triennale will make us all and take us all on an unforgettable journey of the unknown that will tell us more about how we can anticipate and respond to all that is beyond our reach. Thank you very much.
As it is often the case, the themes of the exhibition may originate from unexpected cases. We were here on the 4th of March of 2020 together with Francis and Brasilia. That was first lockdown day in Italy. As you might know, Italy, after China, was the first country to have to come to grips with this unexpected, powerful and destroying tragedy. While we were here in this very theatre, we were considering that the 22nd exhibition that was just ended curated by Paola and the New York Museum, had enabled us to get equipped with powerful tools to face the environmental crisis. The exhibition was entitled Broken Nature, and the idea was that of trying to pull together all our efforts to try and understand how we can mend the damage caused to nature. How can we give back to nature what we have taken away from it? And on that very day, all together, we considered that the relationship with nature and our idea of mending it, of giving back to nature, was questioned by a microorganism that actually originated from the very body of each and every human being on the planet. And so the distance between man and nature, between culture and nature, so had to be reconsidered. And that was the beginning of our reflection on the unknown. We were aware that unknown microorganism could cause unknown effects, but was changing our lives and the meaning of our lives. And this is why we decided that the theme of the unknown could be a very interesting one. Mainly for one reason. Talking about this with Ercilia and with other friends, we realized that the boundaries of our knowledge up to a few years ago were clear. We knew only 5% of the visible universe. We knew only 5% of the ocean bottoms. And we know that 5% of the brain synapses has been mapped. But the presence of this unknown microorganism, together with some essential discoveries made by science and by culture as well, like the one mentioned by Minister Bonetti a few minutes ago, namely, we have understood that the universe has a dimension that we couldn't even think of a few years ago, and bacteria are much more numerous in the human body than we expected. So the problem was not simply how to address the 95% knowledge that we still lack, but rather how to address the 100% of the knowledge, because we have lost the again, boundaries of this knowledge. Hence the title of this exhibition, We Don't Know What We Don't Know, and we called upon the designers, politicians, artists, architects to ponder about the unknown and how to explore the unknown. The exhibition we inaugurate today is a constellation. This is not a single exhibition. It is a constellation of contributions by 400 scientists, artists, and designers who are here with us today, coming from more than 42 countries around the world. And it is mainly three main exhibitions. The thematic exhibition curated by Ercilia Baudo with the technical assistance of John Greenham, and it is devoted to the universe. And again, Ercilia will tell us about it later. So this is again an attempt to face this new view of the universe. And then Fondation Cartier pour l'Art Contemporaine. And again, it's a great pleasure to be able to cooperate and work with this foundation. We have been working together for 8 years, and we have developed this project jointly. And this is again another collection or constellation of incredible contributions. And as we heard during this very short visit, this is a way to go back to Earth, a way to tackle mystery in our daily lives. And the third collective exhibition curated by Marco Sammicheli is entitled Tradizione del Nuovo, Tradition of the New. And it is an attempt to exploring the unknown and how the unknown has been explored by art in Italy and by architecture and design. And here we'll be seeing most innovative views and approaches. For instance, we see music or the symbolic value of objects that are part of this exhibition. And it is important to refreshen and recover these unique views on the unknown. And then an installation by Ingrid Paoletti, who focused on material in particular. We are used to make a difference between organic and artificial material, but some artificial materials are alive and some organic materials are static, are again not alive. And then Margherita Paglia and Agostino Stoppa have developed or reconstructed a Bourgeois Palace in Milan of the early 1900s, where mysteries are hidden everywhere in the historical works selected by Gianni Agosti, but also in this space, the Red Corridor, where you can really find some of the ghosts that still inhabit this space. And then on the first floor, Francesco Bianconi, who is a musician and a composer, who has focused on silence and the unknown in music, and his music in particular. And then we have two special contributions, one by Romeo Castellucci, probably one of the greatest theatre director and one of the major protagonist of Italian culture. A few weeks ago, he started his performance in the main hall, and by November and December, he will have a performance in this very theatre in November and December. And then we are going to have a contribution by a figure who really represents our relationship with the mystery and the unknown. Andrea Brazier, one of the greatest Italian designers and architects, who decided to do something unique for Triennale. He has shot a movie where he tells about his life and his experience with the unknown. I really thank you wholeheartedly for being with us today, and I would like to ask Carl again to join me on stage, and I would like to inform you that we'll be starting immediately organizing the 25th edition of the International Exhibition, starting from tomorrow. We can say that this opening can be concluded with a substantial intellectual but also organizational effort. So the organization of this exhibition was really a daunting task for all the social and political reasons we are all familiar with. So it was a difficult process, and we are particularly happy to be able to have 20 countries here that are represented in the various pavilions, and 3 that are part of the public program, and many more will add starting from now to the end of the international exhibition. This international exhibition has typically been a kind of stimulus to exchange between different culture and to research. In 1949, an act of parliament was passed for Triennale, declaring it a research center. And now Triennale is back being a research center, because this exhibition is the result of a constant and hard work of research that has involved the artists, countries, the designers, more than 400 international designers and artists. The international participation is key because it pulls together creative forces, and every 3 years we see new contributions being added. If we want to find a common thread, we can say the common thread is, again, nature, but also the need to explore one's cultural identity is a common theme, using tools that are closely related to one's roots. And this message is repeatedly evoked by the international participations, also resorting to works of art. Our visitors are invited to be active in when visiting the exhibition through emotional experience that enable visitors to grasp or to fail to grasp the unknown, because, as we said, this exhibition leaves numerous questions open. Another point I would like to highlight is the complex organization that preceded the exhibition, that involved 60 companies and more than 350 players of the world of culture. So a huge effort indeed. So organizing an international exhibition of this kind that sees the contribution of a huge number of professionals is, in my opinion, the best message that we can convey, this active participation to the building of a message, which is a positive message, which is extremely important at these difficult times. And now I got the pleasure to hand you back to our president, and we'll be hearing from the two curators.
Thank you, Carla. Who has been appointed General Manager of Triennale 4 months ago. This is a career that started in Triennale, and she reached the top level. When you entered the building, you realized that there is a sort of portal, which is the contribution by a French-Italian philosopher, Emmanuel Kocha, who teaches at the École des Hautes Études, who accounted for his perception of the unknown in a video clip that you watched at the beginning of this inauguration ceremony. And here with us, we have two great protagonists, Ercilia Vauda Scarpetta, who has been with us since the very beginning, who helped us select the topic, understanding how this topic could confront itself with the range of subjects Ercilia deals with. And indeed, our minister reminded us of how yesterday we were here to make comments about the outstanding images we got from the space. And Francis Kere, an outstanding architect who tells us how oftentimes architecture can address geopolitics, it can address the world at large. What Francis did leaves us speechless. He helped us in giving meaning to the presence of one of the largest continent that we believe is close to us, but we know very little about, the African continent. And he was also the designer for 3 installations, 3 projects, 3 physical presences that interpreted the topic of unknown against a specific context. Landmark at the entrance that reminds us of the contribution of De Kierik with Bagni Misteriosi, Metaphysics, another installation at the Café Triennale, that deals with the opportunity to establish relationships during one's leisure time, and the third, outstanding installations in the heart of international pavilions, which will account for a venue of meeting and dialogue amongst all the curators, scientists, artists, and designers that over the next 6 months will be invited to Triennale. My invitation is to Ercilia Vaudo so that he can tell us about this experience that I believe was new to her. Thank you. Thank you to all attendees, our distinguished authorities and guests. I'll come to the heart, the focus of this reflection. The President went back to the origin of the selection of this theme. How can you organize an exhibition on something we ignore to ignore? And one of the first issues was to avoid the stereotypes, because we all have a common collective imagination of the unknown, which is made of antagonists such as light and darkness, knowledge and ignorance, and so forth. This is the reason why it was important, starting from the fact that the issue of the unknown is the issue of the glance we have on it. 100 works by artists, designers, architects, and scientists, because this theme allowed creativity to move freely. Emotions stem from a different perspective. When perspectives broaden, when something new enters our field of view, and the transformation takes place. So the idea is to create amazement, but also moments of poetry during the visit, and leave a sense of belonging to a reality that encompasses us. So this feeling of being privileged beings, the free beings. I start by introducing the exhibition. This is a work by Suzuki. This is geodetics, the symbol of sound, local connection, collective, simultaneous connection, what we lived during the pandemic. And I started with the sound to give you the idea that our 5 senses are a trap, a constraint to our way of establishing a dialogue with the unknown. We have a perception, the ability to grasp reality surrounding us, which is very limited. And it is this sensorial ability that we are trying to question during the visit. A very important thing, and I'll move ahead with my presentation, speaking about stereotypes, is this painting, 1609. This is Adam Messina. He was in Rome. He was 30, and he painted these small paintings, an A4 painting, and Galileo Galilei still hadn't published his documents on telescope. Something happened. There is a moon, full moon, and for the first time we can see the Milky Way, because until then night skies were a random distribution of spots. And the result of the Milky Way came from this accurate observation, taking time to watch what's going on around us. And this opens our mind, because 100 years ago, when Triennale was established, we weren't convinced that the Milky Way represented our whole universe. There was nothing beyond the Milky Way. But then Hubble was developed in 1925 and discovered that Andromeda was a second galaxy, so the universe was populated by another galaxy. There are now hundreds of billions of galaxies, and the universe keeps expanding at an accelerated pace. It It will be a time when the light of some stars will not be able to reach us, will be surrounded by darkness, and we'll go back believing that our galaxy is the whole universe. So the mystery, the unknown, is not darkness being lit up, but the mystery can come back, can fluctuate and oscillate. We should be presenting mystery as something that even the laws of physics contribute to keep away from our knowledge. Let's also consider that the traditional themes of Triennale had to be focused upon design, architecture. I was personally enriched by learning more about this, and I try to mingle science and design with my personal perspective. And the greatest designers of all is gravity, that like a craftsman, an artisan obsessed with the spherical perfection, tries to shape the celestial bodies that we see fluctuate in the sky. And this is the work of gravity that loves spherical shapes, but small bodies. That picture is a comet that some years ago we could see millions of kilometers away from the Earth. We organized this blind date with this comet, and what we discovered was comet that was duck-shaped. So unlike the spherical shape imposed by gravity, we see that small comets can be creative, can be rebellious, rebel against gravity. There is also plenty of poetry, and as I said, these are watercolored paintings. They got shown at the beginning of the 20th century, depicted the sky 3 times a week. This has to do with the world of weather forecasting, and based on his drawings, weather forecasts were prepared. 77,000 watercolored paintings in 40 years, providing this breakdown of the light, this amazement in our glance, for the glance to become knowledge. And I made a random choice, mathematics, also to pay tribute to Minister Bonetti, who is a mathematician. We share this passion, the theme of ignoring can be enough. But there is a common thread of not knowing we do not know, because mathematics always delivered the worlds that were unthinkable. We were not ready to tackle them. Einstein in 1916 found an expanding universe, and he didn't believe in it. He added a constant to stop it, because his comfort zone was a static universe. And then years after him, we discovered that it was not so. Dirac discovered the antimatter. This came from an equation he developed. They didn't believe in it, but 3 years later this was measured. So to say that mathematics that uses the language of the universe is the possibility we are given to receive signals from what we do not know. Let's start. We started with Andromeda and Milky Way, because there is not just science and space, because there is one part dedicated to design, also seen from a different perspective, such as the extraterrestrial one, but also with a close relationship with what Francis Quéré does, using local material in an essential manner with the spirit to develop a community. And also speak about time. Time is not necessarily an unknown segment. This is a mapping of the stars prepared by the ESA, and we'll know how night skies will be over the next 1.6 million years. There is a deterministic future we have no control upon. And this is also the final meaning of this exhibition. There will be a surprise at the end that is connected to these images. This is a James Webb telescope picture. Instead of the deep field, I opted for the quintet of Stefano, the James Webb picture we were shown yesterday in this cosmic dance. These clash one against the other, but creating new world. And this was the right way to close. And not because this image is very current, but because this was our invitation, our attempt to allow worlds to get clash one against the other, to develop new perspectives. Thank you very much.
So, first of all, as was the case with the 22nd International Exhibition, we have to thank the European Space Agency for supporting us, for assisting us over the past few months, for helping us. Because this constellation of exhibition, for this constellation exhibition to be consistent and to be epitomized by Ercilia's project. And Joseph, who is not here today, has always been with us. But now I would like to call upon Francis. I know it's useless, but I have to remind you that a few weeks ago, Francis was awarded the Pritzker Award 2022 for Architecture. That is the Nobel Prize for Architecture. Francis, the floor to you.
So for me, I have to say it's a very special honor to be here. I think 5 years I've been teaching in Mendrisio with Mario Botta. I will be coming sometime from Burkina Faso or from Berlin, where my office is, but in Burkina Faso, where I have a lot of work. And of course, I visited the International Expo in Milan. It was a great experience. I could stay. But going to Mendrisio, if I have time, I will come to this city, this wonderful place, and always dreaming and thinking, wow, what an exciting place. But I never thought that I will have the chance to be contributing to the Triennale as a co-curator supporting Australia. So as a designer, it's a great honor first. And I want to say deep thank to Stefano, that I simply call Presidente, because it belongs a lot to have the power to work together with the Bureau of International Exhibition and say, we know that is in this celebration of art and culture, there is a big, big neighbor that is missing. And so, thank you for allowing me to bring Africa here. So, something is important. It was COVID. The world was running, crying, desperated. Boundaries in Europe has been closed. Between Germany, Switzerland, between Germany, Italy, between Germany, France, and everywhere else. There was no more freedom in EU. I've been watching all of this because I'm privileged. I have access to information. And I know there was one thing. So there was an exodus being painted in Western media. Africa will go down. I was afraid about all of this. But then Stefano called me to take part of this Triennale. And then the word came, announce. Stefano, this is too intellectual. Estrella Vodo, this scientist, this researcher, Of course, I love ladies, but she's digging in the sky. I am digging on the ground, dealing with real stuff. It's not my place. But you know, the ego of a designer who being given a chance to work at the Triennale was stronger than everything else. So I agreed when he started to say, you know, we want this huge continent that is always excluded, Africa, that is our immediate neighbor, to participate. And I went on trying to do, but don't think that Triennale is easy. It has a long, long protocol. And Africa going through the COVID, it was not easy to really explain the project, but we managed to have, for the first time in history, 6 countries, beginning with Rwanda, Congo Republic, Ghana, Lesotho, Kenya, and even Burkina Faso for the very first time in history, to be here in Triennale, a great place for art, architecture, and debate. And they're all here. Now, it's potentially a political statement, but it's about to tell us what matter in the world matter everywhere. You know, we're breathing the same air, and we have Africa that we don't know. It's the young continent. What does this mean to us, decision takers? It means there is a lot of youth looking for opportunities. And if we don't care for, they will find a way to come in the West, causing problems that we know. And that's why the participation of Africa is so great, to listen the position, the views of this great, big neighbor to the topic of unknown unknowns. There may be solutions that will benefit the world. How come it that we have less debt in this big continent? How come it that we keep thinking about Africa as a misery place without thinking that may be innovation, without thinking that it may be positive input for our own growth, to grow together? And so very quickly, when I took the mission, and I would want to say thank you to the international pavilions, ranging from France to even Roma, that took place for the first time. So I want to thank those countries and those artists that have been doing amazing work. But I want to say, for my own intervention, we decided to create a little tower. Not that I love towers. I wanted everyone here to feel and really don't be crushed by all challenges that our world is facing today, and really lift your head on the top. You will see little openings, and then the sky. And between us and the sky, there is a lot to discover. Even solution for our world, for our problems. Climate change, population growth, resource limitation, and conflicts that are getting harder. So we should not give up. We should be positive. There is a message, and if you enter the exhibition, you will see a red line. I'm trying always to push us to think, and that is what the Triennale is all about it. To really try to overcome the situation quo, and don't think that is impossible. And this message, through my work, I'm trying to get people sit together in some of the pavilion, or even in the coffee, in the middle, central place that is a space that we call yesterday's tomorrow. It is to learn and filter noises from our big cities, our villages calling us, being desperate, and take time to sit and listen. That is my invitation to everyone here. And ending with the Lavazza installation, where I want to recall everyone that every single coffee starts with the beans of a tree, a coffee tree. I want to invite everyone to sit around this tree, having a coffee, and trying to invent the world, as Francesca from Lavazza will say. And I want the kids to enter into the trunk of the tree and explore the richness of nature through colors. So allowed me to say thank you to the ministers, to Her Excellencies, and to everyone who took the time to join us here. And I'm telling you, go through these exhibitions from everywhere in the world, and then to the African, you will discover amazing contribution to the unknown unknowns. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now we come to the final part of this morning, and then we will all be able to visit the exhibition. Following an idea by Paolo Antonelli of the previous edition of the international exhibition, Triennale has been hosting international participations ever since its beginning. And this year, we decided to set up a jury that will awarding 3 awards. The jury is chaired by Benedetta Tagliabue, an Italian architect who is well known worldwide, whom I would like to call on to join me on stage. Paolo Antonelli is another member of the jury. She's a senior curator of the MoMA Museum. And Cilia Vaudo, Francis Queret. I can tell you that was a very daunting task, that of selecting the winners, because all the pavilions are top level. So it was very difficult to us to select the winners. But now I let you, I'll let Ercilia explain you how the process went. It was a great honor for me to be the chair of this jury. It was great to visit the pavilions and to witness the great enthusiasm of all. And the idea was that of awarding an award to all of the participants. But unfortunately, we had to select the winners of the B Awards 2022. We have a bronze, silver, and gold medals, let's say, or B Awards. So I can start telling immediately about the winners. After heated debate, after beautiful visits to the pavilions, we awarded the Bronze B Award to the Kenya Pavilion for the powerful way and these are the arguments, the powerful way by which the pavilion expresses the mystery and the unknown through water, and the consequences of human action on water with industrial and agricultural activity. It lays the accent on the problem of pollution, but in a very poetic way, with bubbles, bubbles express suffering, and fishes that cannot make their voice heard. The artist Luis Manzon created this set of messages in Swahili. And unfortunately, the gentleman is speaking without a microphone.
Kenya in Milan, and on behalf of the proud Republic of Kenya in Africa, I would like to thank you for hosting us. And on behalf of our president and all our delegations, we would love to be here again in the next future. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you to everybody. Thank you.
Next, the Silver B Award to the Mexican Pavilion. And these are the arguments. The theme of the unknown unknowns and mystery is tackled through the materialization of dreams of an Indus community. And such dreams have become a reality in the installation of the artist Daniel Godinez-Divon. He has worked on the field with a local community. The pavilion shows the strength of the storytelling culture through the unconsciousness as a way to extract art from exploring a place.
I really would like to thank everybody, the president of Triennale, Stefano Boeri, director general of Triennale, the jury, and CRS Impianti, which sponsored the Mexican pavilion, and the artist Daniel Godinez-Divon, who has created a wonderful masterpiece, very small but very symbolic. Thank you again, and thank you to Triennale Milan. The B Award Gold goes to the Netherlands. The jury appreciated the research work, which is in the long run at the Het New Wave Institute, and the research on the meeting between what is human and what is not human. The interspecies relationship shows that all the species on this planet have right to have a saying. And there is a beautiful physical presence through the shells and very many other objects that are part of this work, this installation.
For presenting such an amazing theme for us to respond to. We'd like to thank the ministries of Science, Culture and Education and Foreign Affairs of the Netherlands. Thank you, Charge d'Affaires Diepenbroek, for supporting us as well. The designers of the exhibition, Studio Sidiana, and the graphic designers, Gela and Mislov. Our curators, Klaas Kautenbrouwer and Ellen Zuta, who's in the audience, and last but not least, the amazing participants and contributors to the pavilion who have done such great work in helping to make some of the unknowns that we live in such close proximity with more known, if even in an unknown way, and to make the known unknowns more knowable. So thank you again.
Thank you. Because there is a pavilion which is curated by one of the main curator of the exhibition, couldn't be considered as one competitor, and the pavilion of Burkina Faso, curated by Francis, is outstanding, with Idago Martin Alempour. These are two other curators, and they are invited on stage because what they achieved over the past few days by their hands in designing the outstanding pavilion of Burkina Faso deserves a special award to them. Thank you very much. Thank you to Benedetta and the other members of the jury. The very last part of our presentation concerns a very special pavilion. As you might have gathered, we also considered geopolitics with a new glance, and the presence of the Sinti pavilion is a source of great pride, and this is very dear to us. This is but the beginning of a collaboration with a community that is very dear to us, that represents the soul of modern culture. But we also know that over the past few months, we had to confront ourselves with the great tragic reality of a war. And we decided painfully to withdraw our invitation extended to the Russian government. And we also simultaneously decided to preserve the presence of Russian scientists and artists. And together with Gianluigi Recuperati, Lydia Lieberman, and Anastasia Stoveber to give room to modern Ukrainian culture through a pavilion that you visit, which is at the entrance to the left, and that will generate a series of important events over the next months. This was an opportunity to start a dialogue, a platform of discussion, 2 sessions in Milan and 1 session in Kiev, and that today accounts for a reference point for Ukrainian artists and designers, not only diaspora ones, but also those still living in Ukraine. And now I'm very happy to leave the floor to the Minister of Culture from Ukraine, Alexander Tachenko, who will make a comment on this relationship.
It's a great pleasure for us to participate and to be represented at this year's Triennale di Milano. This is a great opportunity for Ukrainian culture and people. In times of war, our struggle takes place not only on the front lines, but also on the diplomatic and cultural fronts. After all, Russia for many centuries has been trying to steal our culture. We are defending now our identity and want to show real uniqueness, what defines us and what we stand for. We are very much grateful to the President of the Triennale di Milano, Stefano Boieri, for the invitation to participate, and we also express our gratitude to the curators of the Ukrainian Pavilion. Gianluigi Ricaporetti, first of all, for the initiative to build culture bridges between Italy and Europe with Ukraine and Ukrainian art as well, as their extraordinary courage to visit and to see by their own eyes the culture life of our country during the war. Thank you to Minister of Culture of Italy, Dario Franceschini, for his support and assistance. I would like to emphasize that it is necessary not only to have one-time actions, even large-scale, but also to build horizontal cooperation between institutions in order to get to know each other more deeply and better. Because there is so little known about Ukraine until now, but we have a lot to tell and a lot to surprise. Let this event become another brick in building cultural relations between Ukraine, Italy, and all of Europe. Це буде Україна.
The very last thing we should be saying is that a light lunch will be served in the Salone. We are very happy to have here with us. And before visiting the exhibition, I'd like to thank all those who allowed for the international exhibition to take place. This is the result of a collective strength. So we really would like to thank Dimitri Kerkensis for his support. Fondation Cartier for our contemporanea, the members of the Fondazione Culturale Triennale, the region of Lombardy, the municipality of Milan, the Chamber of Commerce, who have been great sponsors for Triennale, and also the main partners of this exhibition, ENI and Lavazza, with whom we have closely collaborated on the development of the content of this exhibition, and also Franklin Templeton, by Vazza, Education Partners, Scalo Milano, Rai Cultura, Radio Rai Uno. We also would like to extend our gratitude to the journalists coming from across the world who were with us here yesterday at the press conference, and also Italian journalists who appreciated our exhibition and gave us plenty of coverage. And also would like to thank IGP Deco, Salone del Mobile, our outstanding partner, institutional technical partner, ATM, all the board of directors, Fondazione Triennale Milano, Triennale Milano Servizi SRL, and Fondazione Teatro dell'Arte, our scientific committee, the advisory board of the 23rd edition of the international exhibition, which accounted for the main pivot for the construction of the exhibition, and the main curators, Cecilia and Kere, that we consider part of Triennale family, and all those who participated, designers, curators, but also the staff of Triennale, this collective professional force that allowed us to realize this exhibition. Now you can enjoy the visit to the pavilions. We can, together with Dimitri, Ercilia, and Francis, the international exhibition of Triennale Milano is officially open. Thank you very much.